The Daysome compound. From the distance, the Daysome compound was invisible. It was constructed of a mirrored dome in the middle of a vast wilderness. The sky, trees, and surrounding foliage reflected off the solid glass and disguised its enormous presence. This invisible empire was the source of unseen iniquitous deeds. It was the force behind all the world's affairs. The ultimate director and foundation of the fabrication of the material and experiential world. Everything seen, heard, and experienced in the central city arose out of the imaginings, or rather machinations, of the Daysome. Under the dome lived two classes of people, those who came from privilege and power, and those with special psychic abilities. These two groups were responsible for directing the flow of all social organizing. They were the thought leaders and creators of the central city. Multiple generations of elite leaders and talented psychic visionaries had come together with one singular goal: to save humanity from complete self-annihilation. What caused this dire need for salvation was not the threat of war. That threat had long since passed away. In the era of the old world, prior to time-bending, there was the constant threat of war. A strong military and the advancement of weaponry was the focus of every independent nation-state. But long before the formation of the Daysome, the world had discovered peaceful coexistence. It was in this peaceful era that the real threat to humanity's existence emerged: time-bending. Great advancements in the understanding of the 4D spacetime matrix had been discovered during those last 50 years of the old world. The first discovery to lay the groundwork for time manipulation was the revelation of the electroplasma field. The entire universe, it was discovered, was interconnected through this field of plasma energy. Like fish swimming in water, human beings were swimming in a sea of plasma energy. This discovery led to a new science and research, and plasma technologies became a part of everyday life. Understanding the plasma field became the focus of all research and development. New forms of energy, new modes of transportation, and novel mechanisms of communication came out of this research. It was discovered that there existed several distinct currents within the plasma field. One of these was time. It was almost immediately following the discovery of the time current that time manipulation began. Experiments focused on contraction and expansion of time within local plasma fields. The primary source of this manipulation was the use of collective consciousness energy to warp the field. Constant alteration of the time plasma field ultimately resulted in a hole in the delicate electroplasma matrix. The effects of this rupture resulted in the collapse of all social structures. People were locked into various regions of the world and were experiencing different time frameworks. It was then we realized how much our social fabric depended on time. During this era, work with the plasma field allowed other cognitive abilities to emerge. Certain individuals were discovered to have natural talents in the areas of time bending, and these talented individuals started to show other abilities, including telepathy, telekinesis, and remote viewing. Such gifted individuals were called adepts, and eventually became instrumental in the formation of the new society. The 3 years just before the formation of the Daysome and the creation of the central city became known as the Hour of Chaos. It was at this time that the world leaders came together to create a plan to humanity. They included the adepts to help solve the issues of the time warps. Through psychically scanning the plasma field, the adepts were able to discern that at the center of the plasma web existed a section of the plasma web that was completely stable and undisturbed. This grounded space had not been warped by the 50 years of time bending. It became the site for the new society named the Central City. The Daysome was born, and the Central City was its first child. The people needed a savior, and the Daysome delivered. Humanity owed its existence to the Daysome, and most of the citizens didn't even know it existed.